We are live. So first of all, welcome Aditya. Thank you for joining us. So for all those
Thanks a
who
lot,
don't know
Aniket.
Aditya, this is Aditya Oberai. I guess introduction देने का जरूरत ही नहीं है क्योंकि almost
नहीं
everyone
नहीं
knows
नहीं.
him. He's the Gold MLSA, Microsoft Launchpad Ambassador. He is also the MLH Coach, and he is also Twilio Champion, and many other things like he is also national level Imagine Cup winner and what not. So students are still joining, so we can wait till few more join, and then we can start with the Q&A. And for those who are joining, you can put your questions in the comment section below, and we will ask it.
Thanks a lot for having me, and hi everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I just also want to add that in case don't worry too much whenever you have any queries, because I know for a fact sometimes it feels like it might be embarrassing or some question might be basic, but that's never the case. So you can go ahead, ask whatever you want, whatever you
Absolutely.
feel like, and yeah, we'll take it up as we go.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
So I
also
think
it
we
would be great if you
yeah
wanna introduce yourself once in the chat. I think that'd be really nice to see as well.
yeah absolutely. Hey Shan.
Hi Shan, hope you're doing well.
Okay, so let's start. In the meantime, students will join. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's start with the first question. What is this Microsoft Launchpad program all about?
So the student ambassadors are a group of on-campus evangelists and student leaders that Microsoft supports through an amazing program where we have a network, a community of similar like-minded folks from all around the world, and we do get to interact and learn from each other and collaborate with each other around Microsoft technologies and beyond. So it's a really inclusive community leadership program for students.
Absolutely, it's an amazing program because
Yeah.
so many like-minded people are there, and you can like learn from them a lot too, and you can get your all queries solved there because it's an amazing community.
Absolutely.
So how can one apply to this program, and what are the things which the applicant should keep in mind while applying?
Sure. So if you hop over to the program website at studentambassadors.microsoft.com, I'm sending it in the chat
Yeah,
here
it's
as
it's
well.
in the description. It's in the description too.
Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah,
So if you go to that link, you will find that there is an application, a place where you can apply for it. And once you go to the application, you will find, of course, it takes a little information about you, where you're studying. Mind you, this is actually not something that will impact your application. It's just that they need to know where you're currently studying in order to ensure that you're actually a student, as that is a mandatory
yeah,
aspect. If you like, that's one of the prerequisites apart from like being above the age of 16 and all. And after that, of course, we have three major questioning points, out of which I believe it's mandatory to make a video on one. So
yeah,
the first question is inspire, which asks about why you want to be the one leading a community or impacting folks around your campus. Why should you be selected for that? The second is teach, which asks you to teach a concept, talk about that methodology, or actually go ahead and teach it. Of course, that's also something you can do. And the third is promote, which talks about how you would scale an initiative, an event, an activity on your campus or beyond. So those are the 3 points, and out of these I believe at least one requires a video. I have seen people make videos on more, as well. I don't think there should be an issue
Yeah.
on that. But one is definitely mandatory. Beyond that, it asks a little more about your interests, your social profiles, um, any achievements, certifications you might have. All of that you can share and share your portfolio, of course. So all of that is there. The most important aspect, though, would be this written question section we have. That's the crucial one, because that really decides how well fit you are for the program. It's all right if you don't have too much experience. That's one thing that the program does not gatekeep on, but they want to understand your passion for tech, why you want to support your community, why what does the ambassador bring to your life, in terms of impact. So all of that is crucial. It's all right if you're not a tech expert. I wasn't when I joined. I had zero dev experience. I had worked with code, to be honest. I was doing a bit of core Java from school and I'd been trying out stuff, but I was definitely not an expert in any way. And the program is inclusive of that. That's totally all right. As long as you're willing to learn and you can demonstrate that and you want to support folks around your university, your community, you'll be a great fit for the program.
Absolutely. And there's nothing to fear because I myself joined this program when I was in first year itself. There's
Wow.
nothing such that you need to be in second year or third year or a very techy person to be in this.
They don't look at that. They absolutely don't look at that.
Exactly.
Like I joined just after my first year because I didn't know of the program before.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right. You don't need to worry what year you're in, how much experience you have. Your intentions, your thoughts, your reasons are more impactful. And if those are right, the program will enable and empower you to create those impacts.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned this eligibility criteria, so let's move forward with what are the benefits to this program that students get.
Of course, the biggest benefit is the community and the network, because I believe currently we have over 4,000 ambassadors, and these are some of the most impactful student leaders across the world in over 100 countries. So, that network among student leaders in itself is a substantial thing. And along with that, we're constantly in touch with um, employees at Microsoft, like cloud advocates.
Yeah.
So, there are some amazing mentorship opportunities. Not only that, but we're also, we have activities with them, we're able to learn from them. There are times when we actually collaborate with them as well. So that of course is there. Beyond that, there are quite a lot of tangibles as well, like Visual Studio Enterprise and monthly Azure credits, for example. Support during events with Azure passes. Um, there's LinkedIn Learning. There is free subscription of TechSmith's products.
Yeah.
There's free domain vouchers, certification vouchers. There is so much that the program is offering to everyone who's joining and willing to continue working and impacting people around them. It's definitely hard to not try.
And the main thing is that the things which you learn through this program is the main benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. I myself,
So
the tech stack I'm working with today, I would never have touched it had it not been for the program. I am heavily working with .NET and Azure, and Azure, of course, is
yeah,
Microsoft's biggest offering. It's their public cloud. And .NET again
absolutely.
has had so much work with Microsoft. It's an open source development framework that is used all across the world. And I would never have touched either of these had it not been for the program. So
All thanks to
definitely,
Microsoft.
yeah.
So what are the things which an MLS is supposed to do or needs to do in this program?
There are a few milestones that we have initially. One is, of course, to learn on Microsoft Learn. One is to conduct an event around revolving around some Microsoft technology. That's really the initial milestones we have within the program once you join in. But more than anything, these are really to help you upskill and to get that experience of conducting an event. Beyond that, it is a wide open world. You can contribute, of course, in projects and hackathons, participate in the Imagine Cup, for example, or you can continue conducting events. For student ambassadors, for your communities, you can continue learning, blogging. It's really on you. It's an open world, and you can contribute in
Yeah,
whatever way you feel best.
absolutely. So I think these were few important things related to the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. And now let's move forward to the community management part, because it's
Yeah.
also a major part in today's world and it is really an essential thing going on now.
Definitely, it's definitely a very big thing in at least current times. We are seeing a rise in the number of communities, in
Yeah,
the variety of domains that can have communities. It's really come up in these last couple of years, and especially scaled in this virtual scenario.
absolutely. So, what according to you do we mean by community management? Because it generally happens that people get confused that what exactly is community management.
All right. So first of all, big misconception: a community manager is not the one who controls a community or the one who is the supreme director of a community. That's not what a community manager is. First point. A community manager is someone who is there to support communities, who's there to coordinate, who's there to assist, who's there to ensure it's a safe space. In recent times, as we've seen communities grow, it communities could have been started by someone, but what happens is that as we join in, we often need some help, in navigating, in communicating, really to ease in and settle in. A community manager helps out with that. They help continue this engagement, this communication, to ensure that a community maintains that activity. At the same time, they also help assist in the growth. This is not, I won't say this is just a mandate, as there are a variety of roles that a community manager may have to handle, but it is an aspect of it. The growth definitely does come in, and really the community manager is another fellow, just as an as heavily invested community member, who's there to support, help, and take that extra step for the rest of the community.
Absolutely. So, what do you think should a community manager have? Like, what are the qualities should that manager have?
So, of course, there are some qualities that are domain specific, which would vary, and I'll recommend at least having a fundamental knowledge. Like, for example, if I'll take an example of the communities I'm active with. If I take Twilio's communities, for example, as a community manager, it would be good to have a fundamental sense of how Twilio works and how
Yeah,
that functions. Or if I am working with a .NET or a Xamarin community, it would be a good idea to have some experience in there, because that's a fundamental that would really benefit you. But beyond that, there are some skills that cross transfer all across every community. A Good communication is important, because you're the one who's going to be initiating and enabling other folks to communicate. So if you yourself can't, it'll be difficult for you to
absolutely.
assist someone in that position. B I personally believe you need a very strong sense of empathy. A community manager will only be able to understand the woes of the willing, to put themselves in the shoes of the other person, to be able to feel those issues, to be able to feel those
Yeah,
problems. And that does not happen without a sense of empathy. It's only once that exists can you go ahead and try to help. And this is honestly the single biggest point that I have when I say not everyone should go ahead and just jump into community management, because not everyone has gone ahead and developed that. And that isn't to say that they can't, but it is
yeah,
very necessary to do that before we take such a responsibility. In any people centric role, that sense of responsibility is necessary, and that only comes when you have this sense of empathy. So these would be my two biggest points. Beyond that, a sense of growth is always good. A sense of self initiative, that's important, because as a community manager, you're the one responsible in that position. You can't expect that someone's going to come and tell you what to do and what not to do. That doesn't happen. That sense of independence, that self initiative is very important. You could actually say that it does actually verge on you know being entrepreneurial in some sense, but so that sort of thing actually helps a lot.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes the job description gives that many needs to do the marketing work too. So is there something that the community managers also need to do the marketing work, because many students don't apply
it
to these positions because of this?
it depends, to be honest. So While a community manager tradition, like if you look just at that title, I won't say that is just a marketing role. There is a distinction there. However, that can be an aspect because with a lot of organizations, especially startups, you have a lot of cross-functional roles, right? Someone who's doing backend might also be invested on DevOps, and someone who's working on the product can also be invested in design. So
Yeah.
similarly, you do have crosses of domains, especially in startups, and being having those skills actually does help you because, like I said, there is an aspect of growth that doesn't have to be traditional marketing, but you do need to have a sense of that at least in order to and to be able to understand your prospective audiences. And at times you will be involved and invested in um, initiatives that are focused around bringing new members, around reaching out to unknown audiences. And that does happen, right? If you have a sense of marketing, it won't happen if you do not understand how
Yeah.
growth works. So, that of course is an aspect of it. However, community management is not sales. You're not going ahead and selling a product. And that is a distinction that a lot of people have to understand that when we
Yeah.
talk about marketing, we're talking about growth, we're talking about getting that word across. It's not just that you have to go and sell the idea. That's a very different thing, and that's not what you have to do.
Absolutely. So, why do you think that community management is an important role, especially in this digital era? And what is the scope of this role in India, especially in India?
So the reason why community management is a very important space is because we are moving towards um, I I mean I guess an age and industry. Let's just say this entire domain is transitioning to more of a community driven culture. Yeah, culture is the right
Yeah.
word. We are transitioning towards that sort of a culture where we will see more and more organizations driven through communities because traditional marketing has worked in a lot of spaces, but it's not something that everyone takes to, and it's not something that allows organizations to always impact a lot of people, whereas community allows you to directly impact, enable, and work with folks who are using your products. Of course, there have always been other forums for that. However, community is definitely the one that is uh, has taken off very well in recent times, and it's growing. So we've actually, to be honest, it's not that community is a very new concept. We've always had threads on
Yeah.
platforms like Reddit in the past as well, right? But more recently, we see more and more of these coming up on Slack and Discord, but it's something that's existed. It's only being framed and displayed as such in these recent times. And with this sort of a culture, it will be very important to have folks who can understand how a community would function, what is necessary when you're in that position, what
Hmm.
it requires from a person, because community management by no means is an easy role. It is very strenuous at times. It is, you won't always have the most comfortable hours. There's no hard fixed hours because you never know when someone from the community needs help, right? And there are times when you're
Yeah.
the only one who can do that. So you need to be someone who's willing to accept that, who's willing to understand the situations and go the extra step and the extra mile. That is not, of course, to say that you should burn yourself out in this. Please do not do that. That is unhealthy as well. But there will be a lot of variables that you need to deal with rather than just a fixed timing, a fixed job, just a fixed job description. That's not how community management is going to grow. It is very versatile in
Absolutely.
its own way. So that way, it's very important for us to see folks who understand the community come up and grow. And I do foresee this entire space growing a lot because in the little while we've seen it so active, especially in the virtual scenario, it's really given a sense of belonging to so many people that we will see more and more communities come up. We already are, be it,
Absolutely.
non-profit, be it voluntary, be it brand communities. We're seeing all of these grow more and more. So it's definitely a concept, an idea that is here to stay, and we will only see communities grow further in the future.
Absolutely. Almost every company is launching their own community now.
Especially ones who are catering directly to consumers versus businesses. For them, communities are one of the best places where they can directly communicate with folks invested in their products and collaborate with them, understand their perspectives and learn from them while supporting them. So we are definitely seeing a rise in that.
So, how a person can seek for the community management role? Like, what are the best platforms to seek for this role?
I think before jumping to work opportunities and roles in this, it is important to understand how communities work, how whether you are fit for a community manager role, whether you want to be there in a community management manager role. Because I see a lot of people who go ahead into community management as like a last backup because they couldn't do tech or something like that, and that's not how it's supposed to go ahead. It's a very entirely it's a lateral domain. It's not that it's not a fallback option, and it has its own requirements. So first of all, it's important to understand how communities function, and the best way to do that is volunteer. Get invested in meetups, where get invested, helping people, just learning and then mentoring and then sharing and then leading. So that's the process. And first, get invested in voluntary communities, or if some brands have those, and then you will understand whether you want to be a community manager or not. Beyond that, of course, we end up seeing job openings on all our traditional platforms. Companies are announcing these now, so
Yeah,
that is something you can find on your platforms like LinkedIn and all of those. But and LinkedIn, AngelList, all of these, we have job roles, but it's important to understand whether you actually want to be a community manager in the beginning.
absolutely. If the community thing is of your thing, like if you think that yes, community is my kind of thing, then you can be the community manager.
Yeah, but like don't take anyone's word for it until you actually try it. Work in voluntary communities, you'll understand whether you actually want to do that later on.
Yeah, take part in communities, work with them, create projects, manage events with them. Then only you will understand the real thing.
Yeah,
Okay, so do we have any questions from the audience? Like, if you have any question, you can comment your question there in the comment box. So till we are getting the questions, so how is your community management journey going on?
to be honest, interesting, because I feel, through my experiences, I've also realized that while I love working with communities, while I love supporting developers, maybe I might not be uh, the community manager. So I am trying to navigate the space on my own way. My personal preference actually falls a little closer to something like advocacy or evangelism. So I'm trying to focus on that while collaborating with folks for leading different communities and helping them out. So it's definitely been a journey of a lot of self discovery, and I'm learning a lot. So it's been great that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so you can comment your questions below.
Absolutely.
And if you want to connect with Aditya personally, then we have his social links below in the description, so you can go and connect with him there.
Great. Yeah, I mean, that's always there. And I think I can send over my website as well that has all
Yeah, yeah,
my
for sure.
other socials, and email and also that's also a great way to reach out. Just make sure that
Absolutely.
if you connect with me, like anyone, just you should add that you connected from this session, so that way I'll connect a lot quicker with you.
So yeah, it's in the comment below. You can just connect with him there.
Great.
Okay, so we have
Perfect.
question. So there's one question from Ishan. Is there any? prerequirements for applying for the program, for the MLSA program, basically, I guess.
No hard pre-requirement. I mean, yeah, you need to be studying at a full-time, you need to be studying full-time, like at an accredited institution and that sort of thing. And you need to be above the age of 16. But beyond that, there's no hard pre-requirements. Just
Absolutely.
make sure you're able to express, properly in the written section and in your video. That's the important side.
Yeah, just fill that application in a serious manner, because it sometimes need the things you need to, like they also ask for your blogs or something, and it matters sometimes.
Like, yeah, I mean, I won't say that it's not gonna hurt you if you don't have that stuff, but if you do, it's only there to help you.
Absolutely. There is another question from Vikram. So, if anyone want to internship in Microsoft, a big
I
misconception
think the
about this.
Microsoft job site is a better resource for that. They have the open roles. You can go through there. As much as we're student ambassadors, we're not working for Microsoft. We're not interns or full-time employees. We're just supporting the community, and Microsoft is enabling us to do that. So,
Yeah,
it's a great way. I mean, you can connect with folks at Microsoft, learn from how they went through these experiences. That's always there. And there are quite a few student ambassadors who are also working with Microsoft. So it's great to have them around and learn from them. Beyond that, I believe Microsoft's university recruiting team is a better
yeah,
resource and a better group of folks to speak with. They do have a group on LinkedIn, so you can always join that. It's open for
yeah.
all.
And it's a misconception that the MLSAs can work for Microsoft, but it's not something
It's
like that.
not
You
it's
need
not
to
guaranteed.
apply. Yeah, you can connect with the like-minded people working in Microsoft and can learn from them. Like we have regular sessions from them, but it's not that you will get direct job or internship at Microsoft. You need to apply for that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So any more questions?
Yeah, even if you're too worried, you can always reach out to me otherwise. But it's actually great if you can mention your queries here, because what happens
Yeah,
is that sometimes, we all feel afraid to ask, and someone else might have the same query as you do, but is just afraid to reach out. And
absolutely.
you speaking up might actually will make someone else feel less afraid to ask. So please do go
Just
ahead
be
and ask.
open and ask anything. Nothing to worry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you will not ask your question, then you will remain in that
It's your
dilemma that
loss.
I
It's
don't
not
know this.
it's your loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's your loss. Okay, so what is Imagine Cup?
Ah,
Microsoft
nice.
Imagine Cup.
So Imagine Cup is an annual hackathon that Microsoft runs. It is one of the largest student hackathons in the world, and it runs over a few months. So we have like national rounds, and then we have the global competition, of course. And this year we had four primary domains, and I was active in the education domain. So
Yeah,
you work with a team, you build your product, you create you create a pitch around it, and you take it forward. And it's an amazing competition. There's a lot that my team and I learned. Do check out the website for that as well. I can send that over in the chat.
yeah.
So it's an amazing competition. I highly recommend you all to participate in it. Yeah, I think the link is there. So if you want to bring it up as soon as it
Where is it?
loads, it might be
Yeah,
slightly delayed.
yeah.
I think there's this little thing that with StreamYard, but I've sent it over in the live chat that we
Chat.
have,
Yeah, yeah.
so it should come up soon. Otherwise, yeah, anyone else, if you have any queries, feel free to bring those up.
You send the link of Imagine Cup or your project.
Of Imagine Cup. Imagine Cup.
Okay.
I sent that in the
Okay.
chat directly. I'll also send it over to you. So if you wanna share that ahead, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's done.
I'm surprised why it's not coming up in the comments feed in StreamYard. Because it's in there as well.
So there's the link in the comment section, and you can just check out the website. It's amazing hackathon if you want to learn, and it is really a great experience to this hackathon maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing experience, and there's some fantastic prizes. Like I think this last year for the four tracks, each track winner globally had a $10,000 prize, and the global winner otherwise had $75,000, along with a mentorship session with Satya Nadella. For the India round, we had some nice prizes as well, like Surface Go. So because my team
Yeah,
was like a winner, we got a Surface Go. So
it's
that was
really
nice.
cool. Okay, so you can comment your questions. Just feel
Yeah.
free and shoot your questions.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay, so I guess no more questions is there.
I think, yeah, probably they've come in.
Yeah,
And,
and
I
if you
guess some of
still
the
have
stuff
any
had
questions,
already been covered earlier as well. So that's
yeah.
always a thing.
And if you still have any questions, just connect with Aditya. He's ready to always help everyone.
Absolutely. Please, anytime.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll request just make sure you mention that you were from this session. That actually helps me connect with you a lot quicker and better as well.
Yeah.
So chances are if you add that, I'll end up responding a lot quicker.
Okay. So let's end the session. Thank you
Sure,
very much,
sure.
Aditya, for joining us. It was really nice talking to you.
I think
And
I
see
had a
you
great
all.
time being here.
Yeah. And the audience, see you all next week. We will be having another really great guest next week. So
Oh,
be ready to.
nice. That sounds fun.
Okay. So bye bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye bye.
Yeah. Just few more comments at end.
Oh yeah, nice. Thanks, Vic.
Nice
Thanks.
shirt. Great session. Any pre-qualification
We took
requirements?
this question earlier, so you can
Yeah,
just
we
rewind
could
back
take
and
this.
find those. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's bye everyone.
Bye bye. Bye, Vic.